You ever think about like when you're on a plane and it's like super foggy or there's a huge downpour and you're
Oh,
landing
yeah.
and it just looks incredibly complex, but somehow the aircraft navigates safely?
Yeah.
Like a huge part of that relies on something we probably don't even really consciously consider,
Right.
airport lighting control systems.
Totally.
It's not just about lights, it's a whole sophisticated
Oh,
technology.
absolutely.
That is crucial for making sure air travel is smooth and safe in all conditions.
Yeah, and especially when you think about the pressure that airports have to keep everything on schedule and safe for passengers.
Right.
Like when visibility is bad,
Yeah.
that's when these systems are like the most important thing.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is, this market is growing like crazy right now,
It is.
which is what we're going to deep dive into
Yeah, I'll
today.
get into it.
We have this report by Cognitive Market Research,
Okay, cool.
and it gives us a ton of insights into this sector.
Awesome.
So some numbers just to kind of blow your mind. In 2024, the global airport lighting control system market was valued at $531.6 million.
Wow.
But by 2032, it's projected to reach $860.2 million.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah, so that's a compound annual growth rate of 6.2%.
That's massive growth.
Yeah, it shows you how much is happening in this area.
It really does. And the report points to some pretty clear reasons why.
Like what?
Well, I mean, you're seeing this global push for automation and energy efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Like across all airport operations. And of course, safety is like the #1 concern.
Of course.
And modern airports are all about becoming smarter and more connected.
Yeah.
So you need these advanced lighting control systems to make that happen and to make them efficient.
Okay, so let's break down like what these systems actually do. It's not just turning lights on and off.
No, not at all.
We're talking about managing the lights for runways,
Yeah.
taxiways, and those apron areas where planes park,
Right.
especially when visibility is low. Pilots need to be able to see clearly. But it's not just about guiding aircraft, it's also about sustainability, right?
Huge factor.
Like the report highlights this big focus on solutions that are energy efficient and can be monitored and controlled remotely.
Yeah, because airports are facing so much pressure to cut costs, but also to be environmentally friendly.
Right.
And these intelligent systems let them do both.
So how does that work?
Well, they can adjust the lighting levels remotely based on what's happening in real time.
Okay.
Like dimming the lights on a taxiway that's not being used.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, it ends up saving a ton of energy.
That makes sense.
And then there are the major players who are basically shaping the future of this whole sector.
Yeah. The report mentions Honeywell International Inc., ADB Safegate, Eaton Corporation, Siemens AG, and Astronics Corporation.
Big names.
Yeah, these are global giants who are investing tons of money in research and development.
They're really pushing the boundaries of what these systems can do.
How so?
Well, they're focused on improving functionality by making different components work together seamlessly.
Oh,
And of course, they're constantly trying to improve safety and reduce energy consumption.
makes sense.
It's all about making airports smarter and more sustainable.
And it seems like the Asia-Pacific region is going to see the most growth,
That's enough.
which makes sense when you consider the massive urbanization,
Yeah.
the rising air traffic, and all the modernization projects in places like China and India.
Yeah, the scale of development there is just mind-blowing.
So basically, the report keeps coming back to the idea of automation and real-time monitoring being essential in aviation.
Absolutely, that's the key driver.
Okay, so we know the market's important and growing fast.
Yeah.
Let's dive into some of those key players we mentioned.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's start with Honeywell International Inc.
All right, so Honeywell, first of all, they're huge.
Yeah.
They had $36.66 billion in total sales in 2023.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It is. And that kind of financial strength means they can invest heavily in R&D for their lighting control systems.
So they're really leading the way in innovation.
They're all about developing cutting-edge solutions that make airports operate better and safer.
And they're big on sustainability too, right?
Oh yeah, they're committed to developing reliable and efficient systems that are good for the environment.
And I guess that huge revenue stream gives them an advantage.
Definitely. It allows them to fund multiple research projects at the same time.
So they can make breakthroughs faster.
Exactly. Things like predictive maintenance for lighting systems. That's something smaller companies might struggle with.
So it sounds like they offer a pretty complete range of products.
They do. They have systems for runway lighting, taxiway lighting,
Okay.
intelligent control panels, and real-time monitoring tools, all designed to optimize energy use and make operations run smoothly.
They're really investing in the future of airport technology.
Oh yeah, they're pouring money into automation smart sensors and what's called IoT integration.
What's that?
It's basically where all the devices are connected and can share data.
Oh, so they can talk to each other.
Yes, exactly. It allows for things like remote diagnostics and
Yeah.
making changes to the lighting based on real-time information.
That's pretty cool.
It is, and they're not just developing this technology on their own.
Oh, right. The report mentioned strategic partnerships.
Yeah, they're working with airports and airport authorities all over the world to supply their systems.
So they're building a global presence.
They are, and their focus on energy efficiency and constantly developing new technology makes them a real force in this market.
Okay, so next up we have ADB Safegate.
Right, and the name itself kind of gives away their
Yeah,
focus.
safety for sure.
Exactly. They specialize in airport lighting solutions that prioritize safety efficiency and sustainability.
And they operate in over 100 countries.
They do. They're a trusted partner for airports and airlines globally.
The report didn't give a specific revenue figure for them, but it did say they're doing well financially.
Yeah, they're generating substantial revenue from their wide range of lighting solutions.
Like what kind of solutions?
Well, they have these intelligent runway lighting systems, advanced approach lighting, and then these fully integrated systems that control all the airfield lighting.
So everything works together seamlessly.
Exactly. One cool example is their Follow the Green system.
That's it.
It uses individually controlled lights that light up in sequence.
Oh, wow.
It's like a breadcrumb trail of lights for pilots, even in zero visibility.
That's impressive.
It really is. It shows how committed they are to safety.
And it seems like sustainability is a common theme among these big players.
Oh yeah, it's a top priority.
How does ADB Safegate approach it?
They focus on developing products that reduce energy use and promote green airport operations.
Okay.
And they're always innovating, coming up with new technologies to make airfield lighting better and improve the overall experience at airports.
So they're not just resting on their laurels.
No way, they're constantly pushing forward.
And like Honeywell, they also rely on collaborations and their global network for success.
Absolutely. That's crucial in this market.
Okay, so let's move on to Eaton Corporation.
All right, so Eaton's probably best known for their work in power management.
Yeah, they're a global leader in that.
They are, and that expertise carries over into their airport lighting control systems.
So they offer a full range of solutions.
They do everything from runway and taxiway lighting to the supporting infrastructure.
And the report said they had impressive revenue in 2023.
Yeah, they're definitely a major player in this market.
What makes them stand out?
Well, they really emphasize advanced automation and energy-efficient products.
Which is what airports are looking for.
Exactly. Airports want to save money and operate efficiently without compromising safety.
Right.
And Eaton systems allow them to do that.
So how do their systems work?
They use smart technology to integrate all the lighting control systems.
So everything is connected.
Yeah, and that means airport personnel can monitor and manage everything in real time.
So they have complete control.
They do. They can see exactly what's happening with their lighting infrastructure at any moment.
So these integrated systems are particularly useful for modern airports that are growing and need flexible solutions.
Their systems are scalable, so airports can expand them as needed.
Oh, that's smart.
It is. And their global reach, combined with their focus on research and development for sustainable high-tech solutions, really puts them at the top of the game.
Okay, let's talk about Siemens AG now.
All right, so Siemens is one of those massive tech companies with their fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They are. And they play a big role in the airport lighting market.
What do they specialize in?
Well, they have a whole portfolio of solutions that aim to improve airport operations in terms of safety, efficiency, and energy management.
So they're covering all the bases.
Their product range includes intelligent airfield lighting systems,
Okay.
automated control solutions, and real-time monitoring capabilities.
So they're using the latest technology.
They are, and their focus on smart cities
Yeah.
and sustainable infrastructure ties in perfectly with the demand for energy-efficient airports. And their lighting systems can adapt to the specific needs of the airport.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it helps optimize energy use even further.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
Nope, it's tailored to each airport.
And their global reach is obviously a big advantage.
Absolutely. They have a strong presence in Europe, North America, and Asia.
So they're a trusted partner for airports worldwide.
They are, and their commitment to R&D and their partnerships with airport authorities and contractors
Yeah.
ensures they stay at the forefront of this technology.
Okay, finally, let's discuss Astronics Corporation.
All right, so Astronics has a long history in the aerospace industry.
Yeah, they were founded in 1968.
Right, and they're based in the USA.
So they're deeply involved in both aerospace and airports.
They provide advanced systems for managing airport lighting.
Like what?
Well, they do runway and taxiway lighting and integrated control and monitoring systems.
Okay.
Basically everything an airport needs.
And the report highlighted that their airport lighting division grew significantly in 2023.
Their growth is mainly driven by their intelligent and energy-efficient solutions.
So they're riding the wave of demand for these technologies.
They're really focused on developing products that improve how airports function.
By using automation and real-time data.
Exactly. It makes everything run more smoothly.
And they're investing in smart technologies like IoT and predictive maintenance.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
How does that work?
Well, the systems can analyze data and predict when a lighting unit might fail.
Before it actually happens.
Exactly. It helps minimize downtime and keeps things safe.
That's amazing.
It is. And with their global reach and commitment to quality, they're a leading provider in this industry.
Okay, so we've looked at the major players, but the report also talks about these emerging companies that could shake things up.
Right. It suggests that the top 5 might face some challenges.
So it's not all smooth sailing for the big guys?
Well, my market's becoming more competitive.
Okay.
These new companies are bringing fresh ideas and new technologies.
So they're challenging the status quo.
They are.
And the report lists OCM Airfield Technology, ATG Airports, Philips Lighting, holding Hella and Osram as the ones to watch.
Those are the key players to keep an eye on.
Okay, let's start with OCM Airfield Technology. What makes them a potential threat?
Well, they're known for their energy-efficient LED lighting and modular systems.
Okay.
And they've been doing really well in Latin America and the Asia-Pacific region.
Why those regions?
Well, there's a big push for green initiatives there, and maybe it's a bit easier to break into those markets compared to more established ones.
So they're finding their niche.
They're focused on sustainability and advanced control systems that can adapt to different runway conditions. Makes them a strong competitor.
Interesting.
It makes you wonder if their success in those regions is because of regulations pushing for green tech,
Yeah,
or if it's because it's easier to get started in those markets.
that's a good question.
It is. It's something to think about.
And what about ATG airports? They seem to be taking a different approach.
Yeah, they're more about customization. They offer bespoke airfield lighting solutions that are packed with smart technology.
So they tailor their systems to each airport.
Exactly. It improves safety and efficiency based on the specific needs of the airport.
That's pretty clever.
It is. And they've been working with regional airports on turnkey projects.
Meaning they handle the whole project.
Yeah, from start to finish.
And they've recently expanded into North America.
They have. They're definitely growing and gaining influence.
It's interesting to see a lighting giant like Philips Lighting Holding competing in this market too.
Yeah, they're a big name in lighting.
And they're using that expertise to push smart lighting technologies for airports.
Exactly. They're focusing on those emerging markets in Asia and the Middle East where there's lots of growth potential.
And what about Hella? They're known for their car lighting, right?
They are, so you can assume they're all about performance and reliability.
Makes sense.
They're focusing on high-performance optics and energy-efficient systems, which means their solutions are durable and long-lasting, and they meet all the international standards.
So they're a good choice for airports that value those things.
Absolutely.
And lastly, we have Osram. What's their angle?
They're all about adaptive lighting technologies and integrating digital platforms.
So they're making airports smarter and more connected.
Exactly. It helps airports operate more efficiently and save money on energy costs.
So basically, these emerging companies are using a combination of strategies to challenge the big players.
Yeah, they're expanding geographically,
Oh.
offering sustainable products and coming up with innovative solutions.
So it's a dynamic and competitive market.
It is.
So if a new company wants to enter this market, what should they focus on?
Well, the report specifically mentions advanced and cost-effective sensor technologies as crucial.
Okay, so that's the starting point.
The report says new entrants need to prioritize innovations, sustainability, and strategic positioning.
So it's not just about the technology itself?
No, it's about the whole package.
Okay, so let's dig into those guidelines a bit more.
Sure.
What kind of advanced lighting technologies should new companies be developing?
Well, the report highlights energy-efficient LED systems, intelligent controls, and smart lighting that's integrated with the IoT.
The Internet of Things.
Yeah, and artificial intelligence.
So they're talking about really sophisticated systems.
Imagine a system that can adjust the brightness of lights based on the weather or how much traffic there is.
Oh, wow.
That would optimize energy use and improve the experience for pilots and ground crews.
That's impressive.
And it's not just about the technology itself, it's also about how it's made.
Right. The report emphasizes cost-effective and sustainable production.
Exactly. New companies need to use efficient production techniques and eco-friendly materials.
So they can be competitive on price and meet environmental regulations.
Right. And being sustainable is a big selling point these days.
Yeah, airports want to be seen as environmentally responsible.
They do. So it makes sense for new companies to focus on that.
And the report really pushes the importance of targeting emerging markets.
Yeah, that's where the big growth opportunities are.
Why is that?
Well, those regions like Asia-Pacific, the Middle East, and Africa are seeing a ton of airport construction and modernization projects.
So there's a huge demand for new infrastructure, including lighting systems.
Exactly. It's a perfect place for new companies to make a name for themselves.
Okay, so how can new companies break into these markets?
Well, setting up a local presence is key.
So having offices in those regions.
Yeah, or forming partnerships with local players.
Like who?
Airport authorities, construction companies, infrastructure developers.
So basically building relationships with the people who make decisions.
Exactly. Builds trust and brand recognition.
Makes sense.
And it's important to remember that airports come in all shapes and sizes.
Right. You have tiny regional airports and then these massive international hubs.
Exactly. So new companies need to offer solutions that can adapt to different needs.
So they need to be flexible.
Yeah, modular and scalable systems are key.
So they can cater to a wider range of airports.
Exactly. It maximizes their market reach.
So to sum it up, new companies need to be innovative, sustainable, cost-effective, and strategic.
You got it. Those are the keys to success in this market.
Focus on those things and you have a chance to compete.
Absolutely.
And just to bring it back to the big picture, the market is projected to reach $860.2 million by 2032.
That's right.
The established players are still dominant, but these emerging companies are making things interesting.
They are. It's going to be an exciting few years in this sector.
So for our listeners, we've taken you on a deep dive into the airport lighting control system market.
Yeah.
A sector that's growing rapidly because the world needs safer, more efficient, and sustainable airports.
Absolutely.
We've explored the major players, their strengths, and the emerging companies that are challenging them.
Right.
And we've talked about what new companies need to do to succeed in this dynamic market.
It's a fascinating area.
It is, and it's amazing how something like airport lighting reflects global trends in infrastructure, sustainability, and smart technology.
It really does. It's a microcosm of what's happening in the world.
And that brings us to our final thought for you, our listeners.
Okay.
Think about how advancements in this technology not only change the aviation industry, but also contribute to the development of smart infrastructure
Right.
and energy efficiency in our increasingly urbanized world.
It all ties together.
It does, and it makes you wonder what other seemingly niche technologies might have similar far-reaching implications.
That's a great question.
It is something to ponder.
Definitely.
All right, that's all for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.